Okay, folks, hello. This is Wager Detective here, May 12th, 2026. We're going to get into this cap between the Angels and the Guardians. Be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Make sure you set alerts for Twitter, and then also the Wager Detective report every day going up on YouTube in audio version for this. So let's get into this cap. We got the Angels this year. They're 16-26 on the year. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. 3 over, 7 under that 10, which is set tonight in that game. So 3 over, 7 under in the last 10 Angels games. They're scoring 2.9 runs per game and 4.7 for their opponents. Comes out to about 8.06 runs per game. In road night games this year, the Angels are 4-10. They got 9 over and 5 under in the road night games this year. Average score 4.64 runs per game to 5.64 for their opponents. The Angels have lost their last 6 road night games. 4 over, 2 under. 2.5 runs per game for the Angels in those games to 6.6 for their opponents. And the Angels, they're 0-5 this year versus the National League Central road night games this year. 4 over, 1 under. They're scoring 3 runs per game to 7.6 for their opponent. Comes out to 10.6 runs per game. The Angels are 10-19 this year versus right-handed pitching, and they're 4-6 in one-run games. On the road this year, the Angels are 8-16, and they're 2-8 versus the AL Central this year. On the mound is going to be Urena. He's going to be starting for the Angels tonight. The Angels are 1-4. Urena starts this year, 3 over, 2 under. The Angels are scoring 4.4 runs per game to 6.2 for their opponents in that game. That comes out to 10.6 runs per game. In those games, and Urena starts this year, he's pitched 21.6 innings, 18 hits, 8 earned runs, and 15 walks. That comes out to a 3.33 ERA with a 1.52 whip and 8.75 Ks per 9 over those 5 outings. On 5 days rest this year, Urena is, the Angels are 0-2 in Urena's 2 starts on 5 days rest this year. He has 8.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 8 walks, and 7 Ks. If we look at, what else are we looking at here? Okay, so that's the Angel side of things, and it doesn't look good for the cap at this point of the cap for the Angels, considering the fact that they're 0-6 in their last 6 night games on the road this year, and they're only scoring 2.5 runs per game to 6.6 for their opponents. But when we get into this cap, you're going to see why I might be leaning towards the Angels. They are plus money tonight, plus 116. And the Guardians, surprisingly favorites here when we get further into this cap. We're going to look at the Guardians this year. They're 22-21 on the year, 11-9 at home. They are 12-18 against right-hand pitching, and they're 3-6 in one-run games this year. They're 6-5 versus the scratch that. Okay, I believe they're 6-5 versus the AL Central this year. So Guardians 22-21 on the year, 11-9 at home, 12-8 against right-hand pitching, and 3-6 in one-run games for the Guardians this year. The Guardians are 5-6 in home night games this year, 5 over, 6 under. Okay, that 8.5. And if we look at, so 5-6 for the Guardians this year at home in night games, 5 over, 6 under, that 9. The game set at 8.5. They're scoring 3.63 to 3.63 runs per game in their home night games this year. So both teams, them and their opponents, scoring 40 runs in their home night games apiece total this year at home. For the Guardians, they're 5-5 in their last 10 overall, 5 over, 5 under, that 8.5. 4.9 runs per game for the Guardians over their last 10 to 4.3 for their opponents. Comes out to 9.2 runs per game. And the Guardians are 6-5 versus the AL West this year, 7 over, 4 under. Guardians are scoring 4.8 runs per game to 5.27 in those games versus the AL West this year. It comes out to 10.07 runs per game. Now we get into the starting pitcher for the Guardians. It's going to be Slade Cecconi. His last 5 starts, the Guardians are 2-3. They're scoring 5.8 runs per game to 5.8 for their opponents. So their opponents, both teams have scored 29 runs in Cecconi's last 5 starts. In his last 5 starts, 25.1 innings pitched for Cecconi, 35 hits. He's given up 18 earned runs, 11 walks, and 17 Ks. That comes out to a 6.40 ERA, a 1.81 whip, and a 6 Ks per 9 over his last 5 starts. Ciccone will be starting here on 4 days rest, where the Guardians are 1-3 in the games that Ciccone has started this year on 4 days rest. Guardians are scoring 4.5 runs per game to 7.5 for their opponents. Comes out to 12 runs a game there. 19.2 innings pitched, 26 hits, 11 bases on ball, 15 earned runs and 4 home runs with 12 Ks in those 4 starts. Comes out to a 6.88 ERA, 1.88 WHIP, and 5.51 Ks per 9 over those 4 starts for Ciccone on 4 days rest. He is giving up 1.8 home runs per 9 this year on those games that he has pitched on 4 days rest. So not looking good for the Guardians there, considering they're 1-3 when Ciccone starts on 4 days rest this year. They're giving their opponents is scoring exactly 3 more runs in those games, 4.5 to 7.5 for their opponents, and the ERA and the WHIP are crazy. He's not really missing a lot of bats with only 5.5 Ks per 9 over his last 4 starts this year on 4 days rest. If we look at the head-to-head, Cleveland is 7-3 in their last 10 versus the Angels, 5.2 to 4.6 runs per game. That comes out to 9.8 runs per game average over their last 10 head-to-head. And the Guardians are 7-3 last 10 at home versus the Angels, 4 over, 6 under in those games. Average score 4.6 to 3.5, comes out to 8.1. So that's the cap on this game. If you look at it, it's really tough to gauge. I mean, the Angels haven't played good. They're 0-6 in their last 6 road night games. But if you look at the pitching matchup and what you're getting, clearly it looks like an over game. It looks like we should be able to get to that 9. It's set at 8.5. Don't like the Angels are 2-8 versus the AL Central this year. But I don't like Ciccone, 1-3 in his 4 starts this year on 4 days rest. Urena, Angels 1-4 in their starts. So it's going to be push comes to shove, something's got to give here type of game. One of these has to give in this game. I do know that the Angels have a potent lineup when they want to show up, and I feel like if you're going to bet this game, I definitely lean the over. Wager Detective is going to call the over 8.5 in this game. The over 8.5 is -108. The under set at -112. I do think there'll be runs. Both pitchers this year, Urena in his last 5, a 1.52 WHIP, and then you look at Ciccone in his 4 starts on 4 days rest, he's got a 1.88 WHIP. It's going to be a matter of who's got the better bullpen, who's going to jump on who first. If you look at the cap, you'd probably say you lean the Guardians. I mean, they are 5-5 in their last 10. They're scoring runs. If you look at the Angels and this year, I didn't do that part of the cap for what they've done, but they're 10-19 versus right-hand pitching, 8-16 on the road. They are playing, and the Guardians are 7-3 in their last 10 home games. I'm going to call the over 8.5 as my stronger play here. And I guess if I had to lean aside in this game, I just can't get past the fact that this is more of a coin flip game, and the Angels are getting plus 116 on the road. And I just don't know if that's necessarily correct, but I mean, if you look at all the numbers and the head-to-head history in Cleveland and the head-to-head last 10 overall, the Guardians are playing a little bit better, but the big question mark is Ciccone. I mean, I guess you would lean, if you do lean the Angels, you take the plus 1.5. So I'll call that. I know it's chalky. I guess the best value there is just to take the Guardians to win the game. But I do believe in positive regression at some point. You are 0-6 in your last 6 road night games. That's got to reverse there. The Angels are 1-4 when Urena starts this year, and I can't do it. I got to call the Guardians here. I can't. I did this yesterday in the Tampa Bay game where I saw the stats and it was leaning towards Tampa Bay, and I went and took Toronto. For whatever reason, I thought the line was funny. I guess the Guardians are the play here. So Wager Detective will call it here. The stronger play being over 8.5 in this game between the Angels and Guardians here on May 12th. And then also the Guardians to somehow sneak out a win, maybe late by 1 run. I don't see them getting too far away. Maybe even an extra inning game, sprinkle that. So that's the play here. Guardians, money line, and the stronger play for Wager Detective here, over 8.5. In this game. This is Wager Detective. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and be on the lookout for my next cap, which is going to be the Reds versus the Nationals, another game going on tonight. So I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in. And Wager Detective loves all his fans. Talk to you soon.